We are no strangers to scam GPUs on this channel. In fact, I've been following the great GPU scam migration for years now, and it's been one hell of a ride. However, in 2020, things are getting a bit weird. Because of the scalpocalypse, graphics cards have gotten so rare that these scam sellers can get away with selling these GPUs pretending to be older and older versions of graphics cards, and now it's gotten to the point where the graphics card that it's pretending to be is essentially the graphics card that it is, if that makes sense. So does that mean that this is no longer a scam graphics card, it's just terrible now? Maybe, but we're gonna find that out today. In terms of packaging, we have the signature Shenzhen dumpster plastic, which is always nice and comforting to see. And then again, as is tradition, we just have a plain cardboard box. Okay, we get a driver disc, which is a bit of a worrying sign. And finally, here is our GPU. Oh, it's actually one of the OG shroud designs that we have, but they've actually made a couple of changes to it. They've added a little heatsink for the power delivery, I guess, down here. That's a nice touch. This one doesn't have the power connector, which I think is pretty common for this shroud design. And then other than that, we have our standard scam GPU rear I/O, which is an HDMI port, a VGA, and a DVI port. But it does actually make sense for the graphics card that this is now pretending to be. And then when you have a look at the back, you can see that, oh wait, what the hell? This was supposed to be a fake version of the GTX 550 Ti, not the 1050 Ti. Like, they can't even send you the correct scam graphics card. What the hell is this garbage? Wait, actually with that, let me put this whole outrage into context for you. Out of the frankly embarrassing amount of scam graphics cards that I've bought in my life, all of them have ended up being some version of the GTS 450 that's been sent to an internment camp and tortured until it believed it was some kind of more desirable graphics card. Which is why I was very excited to find what was clearly a scam graphics card listed on Aliexpress as a GTX 550 Ti. Now the reason that this got me all hot and bothered is because the GTX 550 Ti is just basically a refreshed version of the GTS 450. The main differences between the two is that a GTX 550 Ti has a couple more ROPs, a slightly wider memory bus, which funnily enough is actually wider than the memory bus on an RX 6500 XT, and it's been clocked a little bit higher. So it means that this scam graphics card could have been flashed with the correct BIOS out of the box, which would have been amazing, but there's clearly been some kind of mistake here. However, let's not quite give up on it yet. It may just have been mislabeled, which would not surprise me in the least. So let's test this confused little bastard and see what's what. For the testing, I'm going to use this old Dell motherboard, so that when something inevitably catches on fire, it's not going to be the end of the world. So let's plug that piece of crap into this piece of crap and see what happens.
A few moments later.
No, there's no signal out there either, okay. Wow, this is turning out to be a really disappointing scam graphics card. The Dell motherboard does not like it at all. It is refusing to give me a video signal out, despite the fact that it works with the onboard video and other graphics cards, so that's not very promising. I guess that means though that we have to plug it into a different motherboard and see if it'll play with that, I guess. So apparently I hurt that little Dell board's feelings because it just refused to play ball with this graphics card. So I've swapped it out for this ASRock B450 board with a Ryzen 5 2600 in it. Hopefully it works here. Oh, it's not a great start. We're still not getting a video out though. Oh! Hey, there we go, and it says, oh, I just missed it there, but it said that it has a GTX 1050 Ti BIOS in there, so they did legitimately either ship the wrong card, or they just have no regard for the accuracy of their listings on AliExpress, which I don't know why that surprises me. Oh, now that is a pretty standard scam GPU symptom we have there, where it just displays everything in the middle. So according to GPU-Z, this is indeed a fake GTX 1050 Ti, And wow, it's actually really confused by this GPU because it's got like unknown bus width and like 0 memory size. Although the thing that's pretty odd here is that according to GPU-Z, it does have a GF116 die in it, which is the GTX 550 Ti die that we were supposed to get. What? Okay, I think at this point we definitely have to remove that cooler and double check what GPU we have under there. Okay, let's do a quick scam autopsy. It's always fun to see what's going on under the hood of these weirdos. Oh, wow, that came straight off. Oh, there we go. Oh, the whole power delivery situation's definitely new. You can see we've got this little heatsink over these 3 phases. It's a bit of a weird move considering that this card can never really draw enough power for it to need a heatsink, I can imagine. Let's quickly clean off the thermal paste. Does look a lot like a GTS 450 die, but they do look the same. Ah, okay, so they do that very cool thing where they sand the GPU die number down so that you can't see exactly what it is. But this does look like a GTX 550 Ti die, and honestly, GPU-Z is very accurate with that kind of thing. So this is the GPU that they were selling this graphics card as on Aliexpress, and what that means is that somebody went and took a GTX 550 Ti die, put it on some Frankenstein together PCB, flashed a fake GTX 1050 Ti BIOS on here, and then just sold it as the GPU that it is. Like, what is the point of doing that? It's just like scamming for the sake of scamming. It's so senseless. Now, what this whole situation tells me about whoever is behind the great GPU scam migration is A, they're clearly not motivated by logic or profit, and B, there has to be a large amount of drugs involved. I can just imagine one day one of the employees kicks down the door and he's like, Sir, it's finally happened. The GPU drought's gotten so bad that people are actually willing to buy this huge pile of useless GPUs that we've been hodling. And then the boss just very aggressively does a huge amount of drugs off the table. And he's like, but I know only crime! Now, after figuring out that this was essentially the work of a Cartoon Network villain, I did try and fix the graphics card by flashing the correct BIOS on it. However, this is quite a hit or miss process, and it very much missed this time. Although, I think it may be because my USB BIOS flasher is broken. This is actually my second one. They do seem to be quite fragile, and the software was acting up a bit, so yeah, I'm not quite sure what was going on there. Although, I have fixed a bunch of these cards in the past, so if you want to check out a video where I do some fun stuff with working versions of these GPUs, I'll have a video linked in the description below where I run 2 of them in SLI. That was quite fun. And yeah, I think that brings me to the end of another video chronicling my journey through the GPU scam migration. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. And yeah, until the next video, bye-bye.